Hello, everyone. This is going to be a discussion of winter weather at Reagan National Airport over the last 40 plus years. Um, I When I do weather predictions for the Alexandria area, I usually use data from Washington Reagan National Airport because that data set is very complete. It's a official National Weather Service station, and so they have records really going back into the very far back in history, and they're also easy to access on the internet. So they're easy, easy to get a lot of different data sets from that particular weather station. Okay, what I've done over the last week or two is to analyze the annual or seasonal snowfall at Reagan National Airport going back as far as 1951. And what you see up on the screen is the data set going back to 1951 up through 2014, the winter of 2014. And in fact, what all these figures over in this area, this is actually snowfall by month, all the way for the whole year, all 12 months. And then this column shows the total snowfall for that given year, and it spans a year. It's first part is actually in this one 2011, and this part is 2012. So it actually is showing the total snowfall for the entire winter season in that block of years. Okay, when I analyze this, the accepted average snowfall for Reagan National is about 15 inches a year. That's summing up all of the annual snowfalls from 1981 until 2014. And the Weather Service does that because they usually break it down in a chunk of years when they figure a snowfall average, mainly because they feel that the heat island effect may have caused a change in what is an average snowfall. But what I've done, I actually did both. I took and calculated what the average would be if we summed up all the annual snowfalls back till 1951 to date, and also did what the average would be for 1981 to date. And you see the results over on this side here. The 1951 to 2014 average or mean came out to 16.4 inches. If we did do an average for 1981 through 2014, it comes out to 15 inches, and that's the 15 inches that is often cited as an average Washington total snowfall for a winter. What I also did is I calculated the median for those time periods. The median is the value in which half of the years will be more than that value and half will be below that value. And normally, if you have a normal distribution, the mean and the median values will be identical. It will be the same number above and below, so when you average them, you'll get the same as if you split based upon the total number of years above or below a given point. And when I do the median, I get a substantially different value. Median, taking the entire data set, came out to 12.7 inches, and taking the smaller data set of 81 to 2014 came out to 11 inches. A big difference between the accepted average value and the median value. Now, there is a statistical way of analyzing the data set to find out if it behaves like a normal distribution or some other type of distribution. And when I did that analysis, both of these data sets did not behave like a normal distribution. They were in fact a skew distribution, and the skew was to the right. Now when you have a skew to the right, that actually means that the median is to the left of the average value, or that you actually have more years that had less than what the average value is. In fact, because of the skew, the data cannot be analyzed as a normal distribution. The average, in fact, does not correctly characterize what the snowfalls are. The median is actually a better characterization of the data. So what this basically is saying, and I know a lot of people, you look at the 15 inches and you think to yourself, well, average snowfall in the DC area is much less than 15 inches. And in fact, you're right, because it's the median snowfall. Median snowfall says that half of the years we get less than 11 inches, half of the years we get more than 11 inches, rather than the 15 inch thing. So the distribution of snowfall for the entire data set is favors a lower amount of snow at Washington Reagan, regardless of which data set, which period you're looking at. Whether it's 51 to 2014 or 1981 through 2014. And in fact, more years have less than average snowfall, less than the average or mean that's calculated. And this applies to both spans of data. So that's kind of important. That's why it seems like we never get 15 inches. We more than likely get closer to 11 inches of snow at Reagan National. Now, there's another thing I did here, which I basically analyzed the El Nino winters, the winters in which the years that we had an El Nino and how much the snowfall was during those years. And if you look at just those years with the El Nino winter, if you look at the data span of 1951 to 2014, there were 23 winters that were El Nino winters. And if we look at the 1981 to 2014 period, there were 10 El Nino years to look at. If we did, going through on the 51 to 2014, if we do the average snowfall in those El Nino years, we actually come up with 19.1 inches of snow. The mean El Nino mean in the El Nino years was 14 inches. And in fact, when you do the analysis, those 23 snowfalls behave like a normal distribution. So we can indeed look at them as normally distributed. If we did the same thing for the 10 in this span of years, the average El Nino year snowfall was 21.9, and the median is 18.8. Also behaves like a standard distribution. So regardless of span of years or using average or median, Reagan National Airport has more snow in El Nino years. That flies in the face of a lot of what you're hearing now, that we're in for a warmer, wetter winter. In fact, it looks more like in El Nino years, we have a snowier winter at Reagan National Airport. What really this suggests is that El Nino does not produce mild winter temperatures at Reagan National Airport. What it appears to me like it does is that it increases the chance that we have precipitation throughout the winter, and the randomness of whether we have a cold air from the Arctic or not cold, it remains pretty much the same. So because you have a higher probability of having precipitation in our area in an El Nino winter, you have more snow. Okay, well, I did one other analysis here, and this is an analysis that a lot of people I follow are looking at. Is what happens in El Nino years in which the Pacific North American Index is positive. And I talked about that in a earlier video when the Pacific North American Index is positive, a PNA that's positive, you end up with a deepened low pressure area in between the Aleutian Islands and Hawaii. And when you have that deepened low in that position, it sets up a ridge of high pressure at or near the western part of the United States. And that then causes a conduit to allow Arctic air to flow into the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic. So what I did here is I looked at only the Octobers when the mean PNA for October was positive, only in El Nino years. Taking the 1951 to 2014 period, we have actually 12 years that meet that criteria. If we do the 1981 to 2014, there's only 3 that met those 2 criteria. If you take the 12 years that meet the criteria, the average snowfall in those years was 25.7, and the median for those years was 23.9. Again, the data set meets the statistical analysis to be a normal distribution. And so in El Nino years where you have an October PNA that is a positive value, and I actually determine if the positive value is less or greater than or equal to 0.27, regardless of the span of years or using average or mean, Reagan National Airport has a substantially more snow in those years when the October mean PNA is greater than or equal to 0.27. And so, again, what that's saying is that this other index provides a enhanced chance of having cold air in our area. So you have the El Nino providing a enhanced chance of having precipitation in our area, and you have the plus PNA having an enhanced chance of cold weather in our area. So those 2 enhanced chances greatly increase the chance of a much larger amount of snow in those years. And so we're still waiting for the October mean PNA. We'll probably have that the first week of this November. And I expect that we can have a much better idea of whether we're going to have a lot more snow or not quite as much snow. But regardless of whether the PNA is greater than that 0.27, the odds are we're going to have more than what would be considered an average snowfall in the Alexandria area. Okay, if you have any questions about this, just give me a tweet at PatPend, that's PatPend, and I'll try and answer them. Thanks a lot.